Isn't it fascinating how our bodies are built? They can be strengthened and shaped with the right knowledge and effort. Yet so much of fitness instruction focuses just on pushing the body without understanding how it actually works. So in this series, I want to change that by giving you an inside look at how your muscles function and how you can train them effectively for strength and longevity. Today, we're starting with one of the most sought after areas to tone and strengthen, the biceps. We're going to break down the anatomy, dive into the science behind the exercises, and share the most effective tips to keep your arms strong and injury-free. Whether you're new to weight training or you're a seasoned gym goer, this video is your ultimate guide to mastering your biceps workouts. Let's begin by understanding the basics of biceps anatomy. The biceps brachii, commonly known as the biceps, is a two-headed muscle located on the upper arm between the shoulder and the elbow. It consists of two parts, the short head and the long head. The short head helps with flexing the elbow and the shoulder, while the long head assists in flexing the elbow and stabilizing the shoulder joint. Both heads converge to form a single muscle belly that inserts into one of the forearm bones. By knowing where the muscle attaches and how it functions, you can better engage it during exercises to maximize growth and to build strength. Building strong and toned biceps isn't just about aesthetics. It has several functional advantages as well. Strong biceps enhance your ability to perform daily tasks like lifting your groceries, carrying your kids, or even just opening a heavy door. Functional training translates to better performance in everyday activities and reduces the risk of injury. Now, to effectively train your biceps, it's really going to be important for you to stick to certain principles. First and foremost is the importance of proper form. Now, it's better to lift moderate weights that get you close to failure by the end of each set while maintaining perfect form versus ego lifting super heavy weights and those that are too hard for you to control. Form is everything and can mean the difference between seeing continual progress or hitting a plateau. Next, I don't want you to just be banging out sets. Look, understanding muscle contraction is another key principle. And you want to engage in both the concentric and the eccentric contractions when it comes to your exercises. Now, this opens up an opportunity for you to play around with tempo. Time under tension is a crucial part of increasing strength, tonality, symmetry, and more, including muscle development. But guess what? You ain't building nothing without proper rest. Balancing intensity and recovery is crucial. While it's important to challenge your biceps, it's equally as important to allow them time to recover. Overworking the muscle without adequate recovery can lead to injury and hinder your progress. So make sure you give yourself at least 48 hours between these intense workouts that you're doing to build up those biceps. Now let's dive into some of the best exercises for them and to ensure that you are targeting them from different angles for maximal growth and strength. But before you do that, make sure that you smash that like button and you subscribe to the channel. It's my passion to help women in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond to rewrite their stories with fitness at the helm of inspiring their progress, both in and out of the gym. We take a holistic approach to fitness rooted in your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual fitness. If this speaks to you and you want some tips sent to you daily, make sure that you scan the QR code that you see right here on the screen or click the link down below to get on my exclusive free email list. And if you're ready for some real progress, and you want to take your training and nutrition to the next level, well, guess what? I am taking on new clients and you and I should talk about working together, honey. So scan the QR code that you see right here on your screen or click the link down below where you can go ahead and set up a free 20-minute clarity call. Now let's go ahead and jump into these exercises. So before we get into a demonstration of a few exercises you can throw into your workouts to kick up that bicep training, I want to talk about the proper mechanics for doing bicep curls. Because I see so many women doing this wrong, and you want to make sure that your form is perfect so we can really build up the arms, tone up, get stronger, and all that stuff. So we talked about two motions that the bicep muscle does, and that motion is flexion, primarily when you are going ahead and you're doing the actual bicep curl itself. So your bicep muscle goes ahead when it contracts and brings the elbow into a flexed position where the hand comes close to your body. But it also works as a stabilizer as your arm extends out and the tricep starts to take over in this motion. So the bicep muscle much like every muscle in your body is a prime mover, but it also works as a stabilizer and it decelerates motion as well. The bicep muscle is a stabilizer anytime you're doing any kind of back work. So if you take rows, pull downs, things like that, yeah, the biceps are working as a secondary motion. However, it's producing the motion when you're going into that curl. Now, here's something that you gotta think about when it comes to your bicep curls. You wanna try to isolate that elbow as much as you possibly can without moving the shoulders. Now, this gets a little tricky once you add some weight to it, which you'll see in a bit. So when I'm teaching women to hit their bicep curls, what I'm asking them to do is to make sure that the arm is straight, but not locked out. So you want to have a softness right around the elbow, and you want to make sure that you're really locking in that shoulder so that way this does not move as you're doing your curl. Now, what I like to also cue is that when you take your bicep curl, you want the arm to come up where just the elbow is moving and the hand comes up as high as you can get it close to your body. Notice how my elbow is pointing down towards the floor. Now, what happens with a lot of women when they start to take their bicep curls and they add weight to it is that the shoulder starts to come slightly forward because they're trying to muscle up that weight. But what happens when you do this is that you take the pressure off of the bicep and you start to activate that front shoulder. We don't want that if we're trying to really build up the arms. So instead, stabilize the motion, whether you're using cables, dumbbells, barbells, resistance bands, it does not matter. You want to make sure that when you're curling up, that elbows point straight down to the floor as you come up and that you're stabilizing the shoulder. It's not moving at all. And you're only getting pure elbow flexion in this. Now, if you do that perfectly, then honey, building your arms is going to be easy as pie, no matter what weight you use. So let's go ahead and weight this. Well, should I have said it like that? So let's go ahead and add some weight to this so you can see this in action. So the first exercise I'm going to demonstrate for you is just your run-of-the-mill regular bicep curl with the dumbbells. Now the form for this is going to be the same, whether you're using dumbbells or barbell, resistance bands, cables, it does not matter. This is what I want you to think about when you are doing this motion. Now, the first thing you've always got to do with every exercise at all times is brace the abdominals. You want to stand up nice and tall, feeling like your abs are pulled in nice and tight, and you're going to turn your hands outwards. Now, taking up your bicep curl, pretty simple. You probably already know how to do this, but let's break this down exactly how you can do it correctly. So you're going to go ahead and flex your arm straight up and take that hold and really feel like you're squeezing right through the center of the bicep. And then you're going to bring it right back down. So this is your regular bicep curl. This is something that I know that you've done a million times. Now notice when I turn around to the side and I'm doing this exercise, one of the things I'm trying to do is to make sure that that shoulder stays stable. So you see how my elbow is staying pointed down to the floor the entire time? That is exactly what I want you to aim for. Now, the tendency for a lot of folks is to start going like this. Now, you see where my elbows are? They're not pointing down to the floor. They're pointing right out in front of me. And the shoulder is active because that shoulder is now moved in front of me, whereas you want to keep it right back here. See, so that's the difference. You don't want to be here, you want to be here. So if I think about pulling my shoulder blades back and together, and that's kind of going into your back row and your posture. And you're going to go straight up with a nice pull and coming right back down. And what you'll start to feel when you do this properly is that this position really hits both heads of your biceps. Because remember, the biceps has two heads. That's why it's called bicep. See? But let's go ahead and talk about another exercise that'll hit a different part of your bicep. Now, this second bicep curl I'm going to show you is called the hammer curls. And with this one, it's going to hit more of the long head of the biceps. Look, when we work out, ladies, we want to make sure that we're developing the body evenly. We're hitting everything that we can. So with this particular bicep curl, you want your hands, your palms, to be facing each other. And again, you're going to brace your abdominals, and all you're going to do is curl up with the palms facing in. And the most important part, again, is stabilizing this motion so that way the elbows stay pointed down to the ground. Let's go ahead and do it to the side. So I'm coming up, I'm really feeling like I'm trying to stabilize this. I'm not letting my shoulders move or anything weirdo like that. We're gonna go up nice and evenly. And as you're coming up, you wanna, again, just feel like you're squeezing right through the outer part of your biceps where the long head is. And as always, coming down with control is super important. In one of my other videos, we're going to talk about time under tension and tempo and how that can have a great impact on how you're lifting and how your body is developing. So stay in control and feel that long head of the tricep. Now let me show you another favorite I know you're going to love. So this next bicep move that I have for you is going to break all of the rules, darling. You know I love to break the rules a little bit. And this muscle is not only going to target the biceps muscle itself, but it's also going to target the brachialis muscle, which lies beneath the biceps and is responsible for 50% of the power in elbow flexion. So this is a really important muscle. And if you're looking to tone your arms and really get some good bicep peaks when you go ahead and do those flexing to show off how strong you are, that muscle is going to be really responsible for making your muscle bellies look a little bit fuller when it comes to the biceps. So for this one, I want you to go ahead and make sure that your palms are facing each other. You're going to brace your abdominals and you're going to go ahead and curl. And as you curl, you're going to turn your hand inward towards your heart. Now the shoulder is going to move just a little bit and you will feel the front shoulder getting some work. In addition to that, you're going to also feel your forearms getting some work as you have to truly grip onto that dumbbell so that way it does not slip out of your hand and onto your foot. Now, when I get to the top of this motion, I try to go ahead and I flex my arm into a nice tight bicep curl. And you really do feel a muscle right underneath in the middle of your biceps when you do this. Let's go ahead and take a look at this from the side. So even as I'm taking this flex and my elbows are crossing my body, or the hand rather is crossing my body, I'm still trying to keep my elbow pointing downwards towards the floor. So notice I'm not swinging it up and trying to get a little fancy with that momentum. Oh no, baby. When you see people doing stuff like this, you know they're cheating, honey. You don't want to be going around and muscling up that work. Oh no, honey. You want to make sure that we have that perfect form, because form is everything when it comes to building the body. And you want to make sure that your motions are controlled and stable. So that way, whatever muscle you're working, you really get to isolate. And that's where that mind-muscle connection comes in when you're working out. It's not just about vanity lifts, lifting super heavy, or trying to impress anyone in the gym. Who the heck are you trying to impress, right? It's all about you. So you want to make sure that when you're doing this motion, that you're really intentionally putting the arm where it needs to be and feeling, imagining what muscles are working and knowing what you're doing as you're going up and down. So this is the cross-body hammer curl. And if you're a little bit more advanced, you're definitely going to be ready for it. So make sure you throw it into your workout. Do you already do some of these exercises? Why don't you go ahead and comment down below some of your favorite bicep moves? And if training your arms is something that's really important to you, well, guess what? I've got a whole series of videos. Training the biceps is one thing, but fighting flabby arms in your triceps, oh honey, that's a whole other thing. And if that's a problem that you know you're trying to address, go ahead and check out this next video right over here. I'll see you over there.